Hello, hello, hello. Welcome one and all for another FC Cincinnati Watchalong. I am your replacement host, Clay Winstead. I got a great cast of characters tonight for our match against Toronto FC. First and foremost, the better Weigel, Bradley. How are you doing today, sir?
Yeah, I wish I could say I'm fired up, but nothing like my brother.
We'll leave the Twitter fights on Twitter for tonight. We're going to have a good time. We're going to watch along and hopefully see a good result. We'll find out. Coach, Brad Goff, the other Brad, our coach. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. It's been a while since I've gotten to watch along with you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing 90 minutes out of Alvaro Barreal. I was really impressed with his appearance in the last match. So I think that the team will defer to him and try to get him on the ball a lot. I'm interested to see what he can do with it.
We definitely have a very interesting starting 11 tonight, which we will get to after we say hi to the Godfather himself, Nick Suberline. How are you doing, sir?
I'm here so that they don't find me. I'm kidding, of course. I'm doing well. I'm hoping that we as a fan base, we as a region, have something to celebrate tonight, because earlier today was not what we were looking for.
No, not.
So how do you do it, Subes? If you've got two teams that you cover on podcasts that are just abysmal, how do you get through the week? Because I know you don't drink.
I don't. You're right. How do I get through the week? I have two kids that keep me extremely busy, so it leaves me little time to think about the factory of sadness that is Cincinnati.
Speaking of a factory of sadness, we do have a starting lineup tonight. It's not as bad as I made it out.
Not too sad.
I just couldn't help with the transition. We do have some changes. So starting in, looks like what's going to be right back is going to be Saad Abdul Salam. Deplan looks like he's going to be moving to left back after Greg Garza's injury. Gutman is on the bench now, but still not at least medically fit enough for 90 minutes. I think we get a midfield three of Amaya, Medunjanin, and Kubo. And as Coach pointed out earlier, we have Barreal starting up top with Vasquez, who has replaced the injured Jurgen Locadia, along with Zhao, who once again starts out right. The bench is really interesting. Oh, also forgot Nick Hagland, who fortunately has recovered quite quickly from his COVID-19 diagnosis. We're really happy to see him back and healthy, and hopefully he has a good game. Generally, Coach, it's a lot of changes this week. We had a midweek match, but I don't know if a lot of these changes were for fitness. What do you think of the starting lineup?
I mean, it's certainly interesting. A lot of us have been wanting to see Abdul Salam. Mm-hmm. A lot of us have been wanting to see what center back pairing without Kendall Waston would look like. So I think we're getting some of what we want here. A lot of us have been wanting to see Vasquez start up top as a true target, which when we said that, typically we're saying with Locadia on the wing and he's not out there, but he is going to be the guy, the target out there. So there are a lot of interesting things. If not for this match, if this isn't a great performance or whatever, it's at least interesting for going into next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of, particularly Barreal, I think in particular, maybe we'll see Zico Bailey again. He had a really promising performance. I think a lot of us wanted to see him even out of position at left back over Deplan, but we get what we get. Subes, looking at that starting lineup against the top ranked team in the East, is there anything you can get yourself confident about?
No. I'm just not. I'm looking at the starting lineup right now. We haven't seen Abdul Salam at right back
in a while.
Since Columbus?
Yes.
First game of the bubble tournament in Orlando. Mm-hmm. So, look, at this point, I just want to see something positive, and let's see a first half goal. Haven't done that since against New York. I think we scored one first half goal all season. I think that's it.
Was that
against the Red Bulls in Orlando? Kubo from play.
You're right.
That's the only first half goal we've scored this entire season. Whew. So give me one of those, and I'll be on board.
And Brad, I want to ask you as well. I think one thing that I'm particularly excited about, based on his cameo at midweek, is Barreal. Is there anyone who is who's caught your eye looking, going into this game?
FC Cincinnati wise, I think it's Barreal. If you're looking just to talk about the other team, because I kind of specialize in the previews. One thing that I'm surprised of is that really out of their starters, they're lacking a lot of firepower up front. Really, all they have right now is Pozuelo. We kind of thought maybe a player like Ayo Akinola would get a start up top. FC Cincinnati fans are a little bit familiar with Tsubasa Endo from time in USL, and then I think he had some pretty nice success against us last year.
Had a hat trick.
And then their one of their other DPs, Pablo Piatti's not playing along with Laurent Saman. So a lot of squad rotation, I think, as FC Cincinnati gets kicked off here. So that's something that if I'm a little hopeful for, is that this is more of like a B- team for Toronto.
That helps.
Now is their B- I think their B- might be just as good as our A+ team right now, but at least it's a shot. And
the problem I think with us is that we're also not really featuring our
but
the results are the results, but we're missing a couple key pieces as well.
I'm interested to see the Hagelin Vanderwerf pairing because it's a little bit faster than some of the defensive pairings we've seen. But I am a little concerned, and maybe coaching into it, I'm not sure how we're going to get enough width because I'm not sure if we're going to see Abdul Salam and Deplan get forward. So
currently, it looks like
Saad looks like he's getting pretty.
He's very high up. It'll be whether or not Deplan gives you any width out left. That's going to be the problem, Coach. In your experience, if you had to put a right-footed player out left, how does that limit you?
I would not ask that player to provide a lot of width going forward. Maybe position him more in the midfield going forward, as like a holding player that would provide a little bit of support, just help maintain possession. You don't want him getting up. I mean, Deplan's not even good right-footed whipping balls into the box. So I definitely wouldn't want to see him doing it left-footed. I think I would give Abdul Salam license to go forward as much as he wants. Let Barreal go inside. I would tell Zhao to hug the touchline, be the width on the left, and ask Deplan to sit in a little bit.
I think it definitely helps if you're going to have a right-footed player at left back. He has done it a lot for the club. I mean, it wasn't necessarily great results last season, but he's used to it, I guess is something to say.
So right now, to me, it looks like just to kind of catch up, the FC Cincinnati page is, if you're streaming via the FC Cincinnati website, that's about 30 minutes or 30 seconds behind cable.
I'm at 2:30 right now.
You're at 2:30? Okay, so you're probably 15 seconds behind cable. So I got both up. So I know Coach and Clay are on
the website.
The website. So I'm trying to watch the website right now. Dial up.
Sorry, if I get a phone call, that's why
Is it going to disconnect you?
That's why I will disconnect. Just letting you know in the future.
First world problems.
No, I remember back in the day, my mom was getting her graduate degree when I was a kid. And if she was working on the computer, friends couldn't call. All right. So I'm close to about 3 minutes in now.
I just love how Toronto can just hit such quick passes to break down our defense.
It is quite quick. That's something you kind of wished we could pull off at some point.
One thing that I've seen, so far that I'm not super thrilled about is I feel like Abdul Salam's given the ball away really cheaply a couple times in that defensive part of the field. So hopefully he settles down. Hopefully this is just a bit of the yips from him getting a start when he hasn't played in a while.
Alex, you didn't have to come for me like that. Okay. That's
harsh.
I mean, I'm on a podcast. Do I have friends? I mean, I'm on a podcast with 3 other people. I like to at least think that if I wasn't friends with them, I wouldn't be here. So maybe it's not because I'm not talented. I mean, all right. So I want to take this to you guys as well. This is someone, Patty Ann brought it up a second ago.
What's up, Patty?
We are now into a 5-game home stretch. The next 5 matches. Well, hopefully no one else on the Columbus crew is sick from coronavirus, and we'll be able to play our game in the midweek. Seriously, like all rivalry aside, hope everyone's safe and healthy in Columbus. But if that game goes on, then that's 5 straight home games in Nippert Stadium, and it doesn't look like, at least for now, we won't have any fans. It's not the farewell we would have wanted. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that comes as it's disappointing, but I'm not, I think most of us are completely understanding that we aren't going to have fans there. It'd be one thing if we played in Nippert for like 100 years and this was our goodbye. You know, honestly, this is what our 5th season. So it's gonna be sad to go, but I think we have such a awesome future ahead. It's bittersweet, but.
And we all knew / hoped that that Nippert was a very temporary home, right?
Yeah.
We never expected to spend a long time there, especially once we got the MLS call up. So I agree with you there. It is sad. It would be nice to give it a little send off, but at the same time, the West End has me looking forward enough to being in that stadium where I'm not going to lose too much sleep over Nippert.
I was going to say before, I'm not going to miss playing on turf.
I don't think the players will either. I am definitely very excited whenever I see photos of that Bailey 2.0. But I will say, so I'm trying to remember if indeed we don't get fans in the stands between now and the end of the season at Nippert, the last FC Cincinnati game with fans would have been
last year, this month.
Yeah.
About a year ago.
Yeah. Did we get a result? Was that like a draw?
It was before. Was it Montreal like 0-0 or it was 1-1? Wasn't it Montreal 1-1 last year? And they scored. Orlando. Whatever. Who was it? Was I think it might. Yeah, you might be right. Orlando, they scored in like the 89th minute or something.
Yes, I remember because I remember the Orlando traveling fans were hung out with us at Mecklenburg Gardens, and they were really nice. And we all dressed up. Some members of Deanna Stott, we dressed up as Ron Jan for his birthday.
Whoops!
I know. Crazy how much has changed in 1 year.
Man, I really wish FC Cincinnati player had a player like Pozuelo.
Yep. He's insane.
Ooh.
Yeah, did you just see that?
Sloppy.
You just see that?
Oh my goodness.
Here you go. You're gonna see it right now, Coach.
I'm watching a corner kick right now.
Oh, are you on over there?
No.
Oh,
what are you on?
I'm on FC Cincinnati streaming.
Are you really?
Why is Clay so far behind then?
I'm always behind. That's it's dial up. I don't know what it is.
Oh, I forgot Omar was on this team.
I feel like it started around the 4th grade for Clay when he just started slipping, and he's just been behind ever since.
Jeez.
Holy moly.
Man, I didn't know I was attending the roast of Clay Winstead tonight. Jeez, guys, let's pump the brakes.
I don't understand why you're so surprised. Isn't that what happens every time?
I thought I thought it was safe without Brian.
To be fair, I don't think I said anything to you.
No,
I don't think I did either.
Not yet. Well, we had first Alex Yersky in the comments, and then
that was
Coach
harsh.
Bjorn says Alex has no room to talk. So
well, there we go. So I'm glad someone's coming to defend me. Look, I pay my internet bill on time every month. I just think provider not named for fear of retribution just doesn't like me.
You know, I actually was for the first time or second time actually. I called to cancel and Spectrum negotiated down with me.
How's that not a card? How does Omar not get a card there?
Should 100% be a card.
Yep.
How does Omar not get a card there?
Because pro refs are bad.
Touch him. He actually probably didn't even touch him. Well, he didn't touch him.
Really?
It's still a foul, but that is why he didn't get a card. You know, if you hang a leg out there and force a guy to go over it, whether you touch him or not, I mean, that's the right call to give a foul there.
Okay, so we must not have any right-footed free kick takers. I don't know why Medine is stepping over this.
Yeah, I
guess
guess
who else would take it?
I guess he's just
just left-footed from this side. Just feels weird.
I don't know who else.
Because it's going to start at the keeper and go towards the. Ooh, yeah.
Towards Nikki Haggs.
I mean, it's got to be a service. To get to Larry's question here, I mean, it's just about building out of the back. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with it, or especially with this team, that it's the right decision, but that's the trend. You see, teams want to have control of the ball, and to have control of the ball, you have to have them make a short pass to a guy that you know can receive it, as opposed to a long ball.
So we got Vandervaar, Vasquez, and Hagland near the back post.
A little earlier, we had
in the wall. That's great.
A little earlier, we had Tim Arnold ask how much of a home field advantage does the turf give? I would say it gives less of a home field advantage than it puts us at a disadvantage going on the road, since most teams play on grass. The grass nowadays is so nice. It doesn't change the way the ball rolls. It just changes how quick you play and then the wear and tear on your body. All the teams, I would imagine, before playing at Nippert are training on turf for a few times to get used to that, how that ball is going to roll a little different. So I don't think it really is much of an advantage at all.
I don't know which awful free kick he's referring to. I think the second one wasn't. Yeah, the first one was definitely awful. The second one wasn't as bad, but definitely a little too far. Too much sauce.
If I didn't expect us to not have very many free kicks, I would tell him to just keep that on cut and paste because.
Oh.
Yeah.
The second one? Or Bjorn just saying awful free kick. Gotcha.
Bjorn was talking about the
awful
first
free kick.
He was talking about the first one that just went right into the wall.
Yeah, but I mean, the second one wasn't good either. I just feel like I've been pretty disheartened with FC Cincinnati's set pieces for the most part.
Yeah. It's really disappointing when a team doesn't create that many chances when you can't be dangerous on set pieces.
And when you have defenders who can't defend all that well in space, but they're supposed to be really good in the air, but they're not chipping in with any goals off of set pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Barriel given no favors there by Abdul Salam.
How many teams in the Eastern Conference have turf?
Atlanta, us.
Mm-hmm. Montreal in the Olympic Stadium, but they don't really play it. They play at Stade Saputo mostly. That's really it, isn't it?
Let me look at MLS stadiums.
I mean, you got on the West Coast, you've got Vancouver.
Oh, New England,
Seattle. Oh yeah, New England.
New England.
My kids actually played their first game on grass this weekend.
Oh yeah,
they played on nothing but turf, and it could show. It definitely showed this.
Wait,
weekend.
Wasn't Highmark or that was last week?
That was last weekend.
So Vancouver's got, but we're talking about Eastern Conference. There's actually a lot less turf fields than I expected. Yeah, New England, Atlanta.
That's because everybody's got to have a soccer-specific stadium now.
Mm-hmm. I guess technically this season Nashville is Eastern Conference.
Well, they play on grass.
Nissan Stadium is grass.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it was bad grass. Remember,
it was
Bermuda
horrible.
sod. It says Bermuda sod on.
But yeah, they had just when we went down for the USL game, they had just redone it, and it was awful. Horrible. Like the game was so bad. I forget if that game was 0-0 or if Nashville won. I think
it was 0-0.
0-0.
We drawed every game with them.
We didn't even get the ball into their final third. It was so bad.
I remember I saw the Gold Cup semifinal, USA against Jamaica, and it did not look good from my seats.
FYI, gents, I don't know if we caught this or not, but the official stats do have Omar getting a yellow card.
Okay.
Oh really? I didn't see it.
Maybe the TV cameras missed it.
Yeah, I didn't see him brandish it, and they definitely didn't put it up on the score bug at the top left.
Nope. Is your ESPN Plus stream showing Star 64?
I am watching Kevin and.
Okay. I didn't know if they would give you the Cincinnati feed or the Toronto feed.
Yeah, we have Cincinnati's feed.
Gotcha.
So early returns, I think Vasquez has done a really good job up there. I think both center backs have looked pretty good, pretty patient. Like I said, I still think Abdul Salam has yet to really settle in. So, just talking about those few points we were thinking about pre-match.
Apparently, Dr. Darcy Kruger tells us that the refs did flash the yellow right before they lined up for the direct free kick.
Huh. Okay.
Well, there we go. I'm glad he got the book for that. That's good.
Probably not the right call, but it's good.
I'll take what I can get.
On the website, it says unsporting behavior.
Maybe he complained. Interesting to me is the midfield has not looked like they've really had the ability to keep the ball, which hasn't been FCC for all their problems, have not had a ton of problems keeping the ball in the midfield. And it seems to me like Madunian and Amaya are also playing a little bit a little bit too quick right now. Maybe not quite connecting.
Why did we do a throw in all the way to the other team's goalkeeper? Anybody know? Was it because like we played the ball out, or like?
I have no idea.
No, I think that was an attempted through.
Because that ball went all the way to the end line on a throw in.
I couldn't tell you who he was aiming for, but I think he was aiming for somebody.
Okay.
Again,
must have a new throw in coach.
Oh. Let's hire the guy from Liverpool. He seems to be doing all right. Maybe just for a weekend, get some pointers.
Oh.
Maybe we should just send our players over there for a clinic, like the public clinics that the kids can join.
What?
We just ship them over there for the...
Just to hang out with Jurgen Klopp for a 4-day weekend.
This is for the kids.
Oh. All right, Medunian.
Another really bad turnover right in the midfield there.
Who was that ball to, Frankie?
Jeez. I think I don't know what. It's too low, I think is what his problem was. And to have Harris Medunian pull off that really nice spin move to keep the ball and then just the below possession.
Kevin in the chat says, first time listening to y'all, I'm already laughing.
Well, thank you for joining us, Kevin.
If this is a compliment or...
I'm going to take it as a compliment, and if he tells me otherwise, I'm just going to block him, right? Is that...
I wish it was a comedy podcast. Well, if you've been listening for a year, you'd be laughing.
Oh, man. We are like the Pagliacci of comedy podcasts.
It's like a sad, depressed comedy.
The what?
Right. It's like the old joke about, I've been depressed, doctor. Oh, you should see the clown. Is it Pagliacci, right? Is that the name of the clown?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's a joke
we did not study. We were not.
Okay, there's basically a joke where a guy goes into a doctor's office and he's depressed.
Trying to murder any sense of laughter that is happening on this podcast, bringing up sad clowns named Pagliacci.
And the doctor says, well, you should go to the circus. There's a clown there. He'll cheer you up. And he goes, well, doctor, I am the clown. And that's the joke.
Again, sad clown named Pagliacci. And this is Clay's.
Oh, come on. There's 2 minutes.
Vasquez just
you can reference like Trolls World Tour again, coach, with the rock lady taking everybody's music.
We do
play
not
right now.
We don't need.
Listen, that movie is a brilliant social commentary.
Get out. Oh my goodness. Oscar winner for Best Picture, Trolls World Tour. Oh my Lord.
I'm trying to see. So I wish there was like an app that was combined who scored and stat zone.
No, you are definitely right. I think I messed up the clown's name pretty badly. So I apologize. If anyone knows the real clown's name, then
you're right. Had you gotten the clown's name right, that joke would have just came off perfectly.
Would have killed.
Oh my gosh.
My actual jokes aren't.
Who scored his Frankie Amaya playing center back and Nick Hagelin in the midfield right now. So
sounds about right.
I mean, Hags gets pretty aggressive biting on those forward runs, and if he's playing deep, that's kind of how it should look when Hags.
There you go, Nicky Hags.
18 minutes. Alvaro Barrial has 5 touches.
With a lack of depth, will FCC bring up Ortiz? We don't have I guess we might have the roster spot now.
Yeah, I think we get
they won't because they don't really care to ever end loans early. Apparently, we've had depth issues for a while, and we saw Ortiz and I get Ortiz is international, but McCabe was sent off.
Is their season done?
Well, I mean, McCabe just got sent off because he's going to get playing time, but now their season's done.
Right.
And Frankie with another bad giveaway.
What I want to say real quick, our good friend and member of the show, Bill Wolf, said this on Twitter, and I want to give this point of view a shout because I completely agree. It's pretty bad when you're finally cleared medically to play for the first time. There's an open spot on the bench, and you can't get that spot.
You're talking about Jimmy.
I am talking about Jimmy McLaughlin.
How is it not a foul on Frazier?
I mean, you don't know. He's just been cleared, but maybe he's really still not fit.
He still can't even make the bench, even if he's not going to come on.
Okay, but getting back to...
I'm just saying.
I'm not really sure that there's room. I guess there is room for Ray Ortiz because we only have spots 25 and 26. And actually, Zico Bailey's spot, he's spot 29. So if we wanted to bring Ortiz back.
Do we have the international roster spot for it?
Yes,
we do.
We 100% do.
Because of Regaton and Teton's green card.
Teton's green card, right.
The American Eagle.
Yeah. Yes.
But I know that's why Barreal was able to play, and then we added Makocho. So
assuming that would be correct. Yeah, so I was actually talking to the Talking Jacks guys, and they had good things to say about Ray Ortiz. I'm not sure that they feel he's a full-time MLS starter. Maybe he would be a bit piece off the bench, but they played in the 4-3-3 in Charlotte, and his job was to get up and down the flanks, and he had a lot of responsibilities both defensively and offensively. So it would fit if we want to bring a player back if we're not going to use that roster spot.
Barreal's
international spot, but I think before
he hits him in the head,
Barreal's going to get in a fight with somebody, and I'm ready for it.
He freaking hits him in the head.
Yeah,
how is that not a red card?
I think absolutely. I think if Barreal goes down, Barreal needed to go Eric Lamela on that.
He needed to.
He was almost dead.
And how's that not being?
What was the score to that game? He's so mad. Hold on, let's just put him up in the.
I hope you miss a goal for that.
He's just so angry. Everybody, look at him.
He can't even look at us.
You know, one of the things that we need with StreamYard tubes is we need that cursor, like where I can take my mouse and
be able to draw,
draw over you.
Yeah,
that would be
Illustrator.
Would be yes. Is there an upgrade program we can get for that?
Ask Coach. He has a program.
Back. Gone.
Ooh, that's what you say over hit.
Just a bit.
Yep.
Where's the cut paste here from B. Knudsen? I told you, keep it on the ready.
Oh Lord. Oh yikes. Whew.
Just a bit outside.
Last week it was all first defender, and then today it was he was basically passing it to the other corner.
He hit it into general attendance.
It almost cleared the box. That's almost how big of a hit that was. If you're set piece specialist, can't find a teammate for a corner kick.
Oh, he doesn't call a foul on Pozuelo there. Huh, interesting. Okay.
So you said this is our first of 5 in a row at home?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you what, dude, if Jimmy ends up on on the bench at least, if he surprisingly would start, I'm driving down there and watching from that circle outside of CCM. I don't care. 2 years in the weight making, man.
It is.
He calls a foul there, but he doesn't call the one on Pozuelo 2 seconds ago. What the hell?
I'll never understand pro refs. I just don't.
And the Toronto players really starting to bark at the referee, asking for yellow cards now that they've had 2 and FC Cincinnati haven't had one.
But we haven't had any stupid fouls.
Agreed, but sometimes you hate to see it, but sometimes when the other team really starts to get in the ref's ear, he throws them a bone if there's anything close. So we'll wait and see if that happens.
Look at how high Saad's playing compared to the back line.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a 3-4-3.
Almost. Yeah, Zhao's definitely basically, he's the only wide guy out left. Deplon tucks in as a third center back.
I'm thinking that Stom has very intelligently told the back line that they need to send a man on Pozuelo into the midfield when he checks back all the time.
That's
and
probably
right
why
he's on Saad's side.
Yeah.
Not going to get that break off.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God.
I think maybe TT had that covered up, but man, you're not going to get a break like that often where he misses.
He hits that pass from midfield and ends up being there for the shot.
Wow, man. What a ball.
I want to see how many midfielders he ran by to get to that position is what I want to see.
As you were talking about that.
Wide open. He was wide open for that pass. Yikes. Well, thank goodness he missed.
What's on the beer draft tonight, Coach?
Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. It's Fenario. That's an IPA out of Jackalope Brewing.
Yeah.
Really good. Kick you in the teeth bitter with a nice floral component. A little bit of resin.
This is probably too corporate for you, but I had a Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest.
Oh no, I love Sierra Nevada.
That was actually wonderful. Like I've had some Oktoberfest and I don't like it, and I really liked that one.
I was surprised by how good it was, personally. I did not expect. I only tried it because Coach said on an earlier watch along that Sierra Nevada's Oktoberfest was surprisingly good. I gave it a shot and it was good. It was really good.
Yeah, like I had one of those and I had the Sam Adams one. I was like, even though
is it not good?
It was fine, just wasn't as good as the Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
Yeah, for this Frazier kid, I think he's like 18 years old or something. He's really young. They've put a couple young players in tonight.
I thought
it was Liam Frazier.
A lot of people are looking. He's American, right?
Frazier?
Yeah.
I'll have to look.
I'm looking right now.
I believe
Liam
he's
Frazier
on the radar for
born Toronto, Canada.
Oh, so he'd be Canadian.
I guess he's 22.
Never mind
that. 22. No, you're talking about Ayo Akinola, probably. That's who you're probably.
No, I thought there was a defender for Toronto FC that was getting some possible mention of U.S. men's national team call up. Not Omar, but he's been there, done that.
Frazier was part of the Vancouver Whitecaps FC residency program until January 2013 when he moved to Toronto. Frazier was critical of the Whitecaps organization and cited lack of opportunity as the main reason for his switch.
Was he there when Koch was there?
I don't think so. I think Allen was still at Simon Fraser then.
Oh, okay.
Different Fraser.
Good.
Same spelling though.
Don't know why I thought that was that funny, but it was great. I will say, generally speaking, I think Toronto's got really talented youth players. I don't know how they have so many, but it's incredibly. I'm envious.
Man, I was hoping that through ball from Medunjanin ended up with Vaughn so I could make fun of him when he missed at the cross. I mean, because it might have created a good chance.
Neely's Bourbon Whiskey Peppered Molasses. This is what I got, Cliff. I'll show you.
I've been pretty happy with FC Cincinnati with their game through the first 25. So, I mean, they're not creating anything, but Toronto hasn't created a ton either. FC Cincinnati is giving the ball away far too easily in midfield, but they're also picking some passes off and creating a few transition opportunities too. So,
looks like we have some Toronto fans joining us tonight.
Clearly. Not a nuanced explanation of your academy system, but I do appreciate it.
Guys, we're good because we're good.
Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate any viewer, even if you root for Toronto. This could be worse. You could root for the Impact, is what I have to say.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
There you go, Salam.
Oh, no.
Yep.
I'm worried. So he hasn't won the starting right back position tonight, you think?
Not so far. He's looked very shaky.
Oh.
It's too easy. It's a lot of space at the top of the box there.
Oh, God, that guy's just drifting behind him. Yeah. Ooh.
It's like nobody's keeping their heads up. The only person tracking a runner there is Barrial on the back post, which I guess that's a good sign to take away, is he's willing to hustle back and mark a guy, but everybody else is standing there. Kubo's standing there.
Are we in a zone defense? Are we marking? Are we man marking? How did that happen?
All defenses are zonal when you're not on set pieces, but
we have three guys standing near post.
Yeah, I mean, Frankie Amaya dropped way too far in. He should not have done. That was probably his area there. I don't know why Abdul Salam pinched so far to the middle. Is it because he saw Frankie Amaya wasn't there? So he left his back post spot. That was all kinds of wrong.
Yeah, I saw in the replay. You're definitely right. If Frankie stays close to the top of the box, that totally cuts off that passing lane.
I mean, Medunjanin got beat really bad off the initial run. I mean, it was way too easy. It wasn't anything fancy, just a little slip pass. Medunjanin just didn't follow him.
Yeah. Well, my Growler Cup prediction's still in competition. I have a 2-0 loss, so hopefully it stays. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I could do some points.
And at this time, the FC Cincinnati Bourbon Club takes a drink. Phew. Telling you what, that official pizza of FC Cincinnati on the La Rosa's scoreboard back, or the billboards going around the
I want some
pitch makes me hungry.
I would definitely eat some La Rosas right now. Oh, La Rosa sounds so good. That's a great touch. Oh, that's a. I stopped caring about the Growler Cup. I even just stopped submitting my scores.
It's not even fair. Rob gets to get my thoughts and knows what my score is, and then does something different. What the hell was that?
If you would just pick the right score, Brad, then it wouldn't matter. You did something different. You would be golden.
The problem is I've picked positive results the last couple matches. I picked positive results pretty much the whole year, and they were working out well when we were doing all those draws. And
with this team, that is the problem.
Wow, that is an overcooked cross.
It's
and a terrible pass to.
I'm telling you, man, Zhao is the best worst player that I've ever seen. He is so good. Seriously, he is so good at just blowing by people and creating havoc, but he can't do anything with the ball afterwards. I said, if I'm Stom, I'm telling him, get into the box and just try to cut across defenders and see if they foul you. Don't even try to pass it, because just try to dribble it into the goal and make the goalkeeper try to come, try to beat him off the dribble, because you can't pass, you can't cross.
Bjorn, you'd be blocked right now if you were on Facebook.
Look, Goodfellas is pretty great. Let's not lie.
I love Goodfellas.
I've never had it.
I love Goodfellas, but I love La Rosa's.
It's fantastic. I don't like the sauce from La Rosa's.
Really, dude? I'm an extra sauce guy.
I'm nitpicking. I'm nitpicking. It's just a nitpick.
If we're talking about big chains, I think Domino's crust is fantastic.
Just the crust is fine. Yeah.
And he's gone. Domino's and Pizza Hut are trash pizza. Same with Papa John's. It's all trash.
I mostly just have nostalgia for those old Pizza Hut locations with the really funny roof.
Dude, it's I see an ad for Pizza Hut and I automatically get indigestion.
I agree with Pizza Hut and Papa John's. I think Domino's is a lot better. They used to be really bad, cardboard.
You might as well just say you like Little Caesars.
You know what?
I lived off of Little Caesars for a few years. So.
A $5 hot and ready is a deal.
Once they came out with that pretzel pizza with the pretzel crust and the nacho cheese on it, I was sold.
Yeah.
This tells you how bad the soccer is we watch every night.
We are talking about
soccer or pizza and beer.
You know what?
We got to do something.
We got to entertain ourselves. Somehow.
2 hours of content to fill here.
I know. I'm not disagreeing with the conversation. I'm just saying this is where we are.
I'm pretty disappointed in Barrial's inability. It's not on him necessarily, but we haven't seen a lot of him. I think the team really needs to do a better job of getting him isolated. I mean, he's dropping back defensively a lot. That's part of it. Other than that, I think I've already said what there is to say. It's the same problems. Medunjanin and Amaya turning the ball over.
Hey, it's a low percentage.
Shot on target.
Okay.
Baby steps.
See, how many weeks in a row are we going to be yes, a shot on target?
All of them.
I'm a little tired of that. It's obviously this is a good play. I'm seeing it progress now. Vasquez with a decent chance. I like it, but we need to be doing that over and over and over and over again.
Are you seeing any patterns of play here, Coach?
I do think that there's a little more focus on getting the ball into Vasquez and letting him play the ball back into the midfield and then run from there, which is a really simple, basic pattern using a target forward. But we haven't seen that with Locadia, so I think there is a bit of that.
I still believe in you, Brandon Vasquez. I still believe in you. I may be the only one on the hype train left, but I'm still tooting that horn.
Which Brandon would mean a lot more coming from the person that didn't defend Adi.
Look, we all. I can't respond to that. That's a fair shot.
You know, he's so bad that they just went out and got Christian Nemeth. The crew did. Like, just to get another freaking awesome piece to your team.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, they just got him from overseas.
Damn.
So he's not. I think they're talking about he might play midweek if they play, because they had to cancel their game tonight or yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday they canceled the game.
Yeah.
Today or last night. Yeah, you're right. Again, hopefully no one else tests positive and everything's okay over there.
Give it to Barrial.
Look, my
wife will get mad at me if I buy La Roses?
No, do what you want.
Okay.
Subs, I'm the most single person maybe alive, let alone on this website. I can say that's pretty much a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna text her.
I'm pretty confident.
Hey, do it and ask for forgiveness later.
Your marriage must be going swimmingly.
14 years, buddy.
Vasquez is starting to create some trouble, which is good to see.
What is mesh frequency? Mesh frequency is mesh frequency on YouTube.
Oh,
I'm assuming he's a Toronto person, so I'm asking what is mesh frequency. Coach, why is Barrial in the middle of the field so often in the build-up?
So the way Stom wants the team to play is he wants both wings, Zhao and Barrial, to come central to create overloads in the center of the pitch to allow the outside backs to push forward and create the width, which is really typical for a 4-3-3. It's pretty common. But like I've said in the past, the problem is the team, not only FCC doesn't have the outside backs to do that effectively, but also they don't have the wings that are good enough technically to play in that tight of space. So all it does is it takes a small portion of the field and puts Vasquez and Kubo and Barrial and Zhao all in there. And it makes it really difficult for them to get anything going forward.
My wife said there's no need for you to get La Roses. And I said, I agree, but these billboards...
It's not a need, it's a want.
What's she going to say? You can't have dinner at 8:15?
Oh, I just said dinner at 6:30.
Mark, slide into my private messages and tell me where you got Buffalo Trace. I'm dying for it. Thank you. I have to go to Kentucky I had to go to Lexington to get it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see it. I never see it in my neck of the woods in Cincinnati.
I see it in my Kroger all the time. I mean, I'm in Kentucky, but I'm not in Lexington.
Well, where in Kentucky?
Fort Mitchell. The Fort Mitchell Kroger right off the exit, right off 75.
Yo, guys, I'll just be back in about 45 minutes. Everything cool? Okay.
Peace.
Sweet. This just got better.
What are you doing to me, guys?
Oh, man.
Kroger right now has Basil Hayden's on sale for $30, and there's a $5 coupon on the app that you can download, so you can get it for $25. It's a good
Wait,
deal.
what?
That's a great deal for Basil
Right now,
That's
and they have
At
they have the
Kroger?
Basil, and they have the Basil Dark Rye, which is really good.
All right, let me get on my app here.
Did you see that cross?
Load that and go there tomorrow.
I think, was he trying to go top corner? Maybe, I don't know. It was really bad either way.
Who did it?
Vasquez.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's and
Iron Man's down. Bring in Zico.
Oh wow, really?
Yep.
Well, Coach, I think a question we could all probably discuss, and we've probably brought on the podcast before.
So is this on the cash back portion?
What? Oh, talking about the deal for Basil.
No, just in the regular. If you go into the coupons on the app, clip coupons, and just type in Basil, it should come up.
But I do think that's an interesting question, Tim, is about whether or not it's best to try to get players that fit a system or just try to cobble together the best strategy you have with the players you have. It's a topic I think we could discuss ad nauseum about soccer in general, national teams versus clubs as well. Coach, what's your first impression about that question?
When you're talking about club soccer at the professional level, you're talking about the ability to bring in players to fit your system. So if Stom fancies himself to be the coach long term, which I'm assuming he does, then he wants to develop his system and bring the players in to fit that. It wouldn't make any sense to go away from his system completely and then to develop something new that fits the players that FC Cincinnati has, and then try to change the way they're playing the next year. Now, the hard part there is you're committing to a 2 or 3 year process before you have the players that you want and you're ready to go with that sort of system. So, I mean, I think it's a balance, which is why you saw Stom go to the 5-3-2, which is not the system he wants to run. You keep some of the principles of play, letting the outside backs create the width, and you move forward with whatever you have.
It's going to be Gutman.
Oh, Gutman's going to come in. There we go. Yeah, I think that's something that I'm not saying that we should expect results sooner rather than later, but that is something to keep in mind, is that how short of a time frame Stom has been at the role, and he hasn't, has Makoto and Barreal have come in under his tenure, but this winter and maybe next summer's transfer window are going to be big for Gerard and Stom, as it'll be the first times they'll be really working together to bring in players that fit their profile collectively.
Yeah, Sam Stayskool and Paul Tenorio on their podcast Allocation Disorder said that the initial build from FC Cincinnati was so bad that the team should expect 3 years before they're back to base level. And that's if they hit on all the rest of their signings. And since then, they've turned the coach over twice, right? Turned over the roster. And it's like...
And honestly, some of our signings from this past winter have not been proven to be too effective so far. So that could definitely make things worse.
Have we had any signing that we signed in 2020 so far be a success?
I don't think you can...
maybe Medunian?
Yeah, I think he's Medunian is the closest, I would say. Granted, 2 of them are very new, but yeah.
You got Pedersen, Dion.
I think Vasquez, for what you
blah.
paid for him and for what he's done and what you've asked him to do, I think Vasquez has, exceeded expectations.
We still gave up a lot of allocation money for him.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the trade
I
for...
want to say it was like $150K. And
Nashville selected him as the first pick, and then we traded for him. So, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I would think Harris would take the cake, but, he's on a 1-year contract, so...
I really like Harris. I think he's done a really nice... he's done what he can. He's installed professionalism, but you know what? I'm kind of done seeing him on the field.
I think, Coach, did you say this in our Slack page that if he's not a part of your future, then might as well start trying to invest more playing time in the people you think are going to be around?
It goes a little bit back to Tim's question of, playing a different style for your players. When Harris is on the field, his abilities and his lack of abilities make you play a certain way. And that is not typical of the 4-3-3 system. He has to drop way deep into the center back line to get on the ball because he's not quick enough to get on the ball and spin out of pressure or something. So he needs a lot of time and space on the ball to pick those passes. So you're asking the team to play an entirely different way with him on the field. So I think he's done a good job, and I'm with Brad that I think he's been very good. But not only are you playing a guy who is not going to be around next year, you're changing the way the rest of the players play with him on the field. I just think it's a mistake.
If we can also look at a brief light, maybe at the end of this tunnel, our good friend from Canada, Mesh Frequency, did point out that Toronto was pretty bad for about 10 years or so before they featured in, 3 straight MLS Cup finals? So, it's not the end of the world. We just need to be a little patient.
I think it was 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. Thank you. I know they had basically a rivalry with Seattle there. They played so often.
3 out of the last 4 with Atlanta scrunched in there for 1.
Thank you.
Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get that first half goal.
It's almost, it is almost halftime. Damn.
Yeah, I could have probably told you that before the game started, Stoops.
I don't think Stom's system is different, Tim. I think that since Nykamp came on, he's been building towards playing in the 4-3-3. I think that the difference, there's subtle differences. Like Harris Medunjanin is a guy who is really good at hitting long passes. And to me, from what I've seen of Stam's players and teams in the past, Stam likes to make a bunch of short, really quick passes, like Barcelona tiki-taka style, and then almost counterattack out of that, like really go forward quick. So that's where, Harris is really a much better player at sitting back, knocking some slow passes around, and then looking for that long diagonal.
It is easy, I think, to forget that a lot of the every player we brought this winter was for Ron Jans. And the Dutch 4-3-3 isn't a monolith, right? There are those subtleties. I mean, Frank de Boer's teams are very different than, Ronald Koeman or, whoever you could bring up. So,
it's
for instance,
not about a formation. It's about a style of play.
Right. So I do think, like, for instance, I mentioned Jimmy McLaughlin earlier. Jimmy won his contract when Ron Jans was coach. And so Stam, obviously now being head coach, might feel very differently about including or using Jimmy in any way. So yeah, that's why going forward, I mentioned those two next transfer windows are going to be really key, I think, to the Nijkamp Stam era at FC Cincinnati.
Yeah, and if you look at the two players that he has brought in Makoto and Barreal, you have a winger, a true winger who's really good in 1v1 situations, and you have a high energy holding midfielder type player that can not only defend but also can burst forward and get into the box on a quick counterattack, which fits that sort of philosophy exactly. I do think there are some little tweaks that Stam could make that I'm not thrilled that he hasn't, in terms of, I've been saying for a while, I think with this setup that you have here, I would not have Deplan go forward into the attack at all. I started this show by saying that, right? But continually Stam has allowed Deplan to get forward. And I think that's just a mistake. I think that you need to provide some width using your wingers if your outside backs aren't doing the job effectively. And that's something that you can change in game. It doesn't have to be a philosophical change. You can make those tweaks and open up space, those sort of in-game adjustments.
It's a good shout. So looks like, I think if you all aren't there yet, we definitely hit halftime. I'm definitely not going to hit it for another 35 seconds or so.
I even hit halftime and I'm on cable.
Oh, okay. I got at least someone in the comments. Yeah, that's probably makes sense. I mean, we're behind on cable and StreamYard, our lovely service provider. They do tend to
man, come on.
Tends to be a little behind. No, not even okay.
I'm trying to figure out what Brad is.
He saw the corner kick.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's got to go in. That's got to go in.
Yikes. I'm not excited for this then.
He had to kind of stoop to hit the header, but it was so free that he could stoop down and not have any contact from anyone. So
best service from Medunjanin this half. So hopefully, if we get a couple more corners, we can get something like that. But yeah, that's tough to miss. That's very tough. All right, have we reached halftime?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So please, I know this is maybe not the most thrilling 45 once again, but go ahead and give us your 3-word first half reaction in the comments here. I want to take it around. I don't know how much longer you got with the Subs, but I'll go ahead and lead with you then.
They're not worth 3 words, so they just get same old.
That's fair enough. Bradley, the better Weigel. How are you feeling after that first half? It doesn't have to be 3 words for you.
I don't know, man.
A decent. I'll put the one Deplan comment that I feel comfortable we can put live. There are a couple of them though.
I think the Reds are closer to scoring a run than we are. The scoring a goal.
Our good friend and staff writer Jacob Clary has made this comment before. He definitely wonders if the Reds will score before we do, and the longer it's starting to seem more and more realistic as we go. Coach Goff, how are we feeling?
I think that The thing, if I'm going to try to be positive here, I think that the things that are going wrong for FC Cincinnati today are not things that typically go wrong. This is not, it might be same old in terms of scoreline and not creating chances, but it's not same old in terms of how that is happening. The center backs have been very good. They have not made any mistakes. I think that the team has been picking the ball up in transition and trying to go forward with some speed, which is not typical, and it's not what they've been doing. I think that Amaya and Medunjanin have not been good. They've had a lot of turnovers, and then I think defensively, that was a midfield problem when that goal was scored. I think that Barreal and Zhao have both created danger going forward. No end product again, but they've been fouled in really dangerous spots by bursting forward. So these are the little things that if I'm trying to be positive, I'm picking up on and saying, I'm glad they're moving forward in that way. So now they just need to put some of these things together at the same time.
Yeah, it's easy to. I think we're seeing a whole lot of the same. Like you said, Coach. I do agree with the positives, but it feels like each week I'm having to work harder and harder to find those positives. So, but generally speaking, 1-0 down is still quite an easy game to recover from. Besides that one, I think down. Obviously with our dispossessions in the midfield and that one particularly bad play that led to their goal, I haven't seen too much out of Toronto's offense to be afraid of a blowout necessarily. So there's definitely, knock on wood, but there's definitely chances to be made and chances to equalize and get back into this game. So do I believe there are 2 more goals in this match? Yes. I don't know who's going to come. I'm not sure if any of them will be from FC Cincinnati.
2 more goals?
It's possible they both come from Toronto. But no, I mean, generally they haven't had a whole lot of opportunities. It'll be the thing that we'll have to look for is whether or not those just bad luck plays pile on us again. I think, was it all the matches are blurring together, but it does seem like, you give up one bad goal, you're still in it. And then another crazy thing happens and then you're down 2-0. And then you're just like, oh, okay, well, here we go again. So it'll be interesting to see if we are on the right end of luck today. It's always still possible. To quote Coach Ted Lasso, do you believe in miracles? I want to hold on to that maybe a little bit. Brad, you do have to watch the show. Subs, really I think Subs would agree with me. It is surprisingly good given where it came from. Like
I'm the one that told you to watch it.
Jose's referenced it several times, so it's piqued my interest. Number one, I don't get to watch too much TV.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I don't have Apple TV.
No, yeah.
I got a hot tub, guys. So
do you have a Roku?
Y'all are like, no. My wife and I, we got a hot tub because.
Do you have an iPhone?
So now we just do that instead of watching TV. Yeah.
Well, then watch it on your iPhone.
Well, I don't want to pay for it.
You get a free trial. You can watch it all in a week.
It's all 10 episodes are available, so you could just pound it.
I gotta budget my time for what I actually want to watch, and so I feel like I want to rewatch Mandalorian versus picking up a new episode because Mandalorian's gonna come out in November?
End of the month, October 30th.
Yeah. Yes.
I think
so. I got to get on that. So if I'm gonna budget, 10 episodes of that, I'm not gonna be able to watch Ted Lasso.
I will say, Coach, you in particular, I think would get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm on the Brad Weigel train of I don't want to pay for it, and I don't have near enough time to watch enough TV to watch 10 episodes in a week.
I don't even have kids either. You're doing school and kids.
And this and a full-time job and this and also school.
Man, you're just a glutton for punishment.
You're missing out.
Subs, what are you doing tonight? Are you going to be with us all night, or you got to record your Bengals podcast?
No, I'm going to the best soccer show now.
Oh, there you go.
This is the best soccer show, jerk.
I don't know. Have you heard it? It is pretty good.
Oh, I used to listen to Jason and Jared way before CST was even a wink in Subs' eye. And Yosef. What's Yosef doing? We need to get Yosef. FC Cincinnati was good when Yosef was on CST, so I blame him. Where is Yosef? I'm going to text him.
Probably eating free pizza somewhere.
I'm going to text him right now. FC Cincinnati was good when you were on CST.
Try to shame him into making it maybe just a guest appearance. Maybe we'll have a good result for him.
Yep.
All right, gents. I need to rock or bounce.
Subs, thank you so much for joining us. Break a leg recording tonight.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll see you soon.
All right. See you guys.
Bye. All right.
Well, now that he's gone, I'm kidding.
Yep, that signals the time for me to take my.
It means we can now finally do Cincinnati Spurs talk.
Ha! All right, now I gotta use a
featuring Clay and the Brads.
I'll be back.
Let's get DJ up in here and let's make this a full quartet. Finally, break down that. That's a talking tactics we should do. The 6-1 win against Man United. That'd be fun, right?
It would be it'd be different than what I've been doing currently with this team. That's for sure.
I do feel most of it is counterattack, Harry Kane pass, some goal, done. Like that's the article.
Yeah, not to mention how many arrows would I have to draw for the Man United defense, seeing this center back going this way and this center back going this way and the outside back going that way.
Do you have an arrow for a center back tackling his own left back?
Yeah,
to try to get to the ball. Sorry, I know Subs will be pissed to hear us do that, but I had to get it out there. I just couldn't.
He's not going to hear it unless somebody tells him.
Looking at the Slack to make sure no one snitches. Anyway, yeah. I'm starting to understand a little bit of the ennui that occurred at this website last season. And I have to actually look. I don't know if anyone out there is aware if DC United beat Chicago tonight, FC Cincinnati is then the worst team in the league once again. Currently, Chicago is up 2-0 at halftime, so we might actually avoid that fate for one more week. So hopefully DC is just as dysfunctional as we are. Thank God for them, just to have the season they're having.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that any of FC Cincinnati's excuses are good, but DC United doesn't even have an excuse. I mean, they could Paul Areola got injured, okay. Yeah. But other than that, they had a stable coach. They've had talent there for a long time. They did
lose a lot of the
defenses. They were one of the best defenses in the league last year, and they didn't lose a lot of that.
No, they did not. Yeah, Olsen definitely needed to. You could tell. I think that marriage was crumbling for a while there. Oh, so I think this might be a good question for Brad.
Okay.
From Tim, admitting I am naive about the MLS roster build or budget limitations, how much turnover can happen during the upcoming open periods?
Okay.
Thank you for your question, Tim.
Thank you, Tim. I have had a whiteboard in my office trying to figure out what we can do. And honestly, I think we only have the ability to get 4 internationals.
Yeah, because that would be dependent on departures, correct?
Right. Depending on departures and green cards and all that stuff, I'm expecting probably 4 open international spots, maybe. But the problem FC Cincinnati has is we screwed up the domestic build so badly. And now, I don't understand how we're going to get good domestic players. So, when who was it? Coach said the allocation disorder. It's we'll have some room. Some stuff will free up, but then we've got to use those resources to go out and then get domestic players. So
I say currently,
I think that's where FC Cincinnati is kind of screwed right now. Is that we're not going to if Gerard Niekamp, his strategy is I'm just going to go to the international market and get all of our players who are going to play and contribute. Get rid of him now because we're just going to end up being by the wooden spoon every year. He's got to get comfortable getting and playing domestic players, and then I think it'll help when we have the academy. But that's still 5 or 6 years away from having many impact players that you can play. So,
this is not a definitive list, but we're trying to go down people who have green cards or are domestic, who I believe are staying on past 2020. There will be Deplon and Cruz. They got their green cards last winter. Teton, who I don't know if his contract continues past 2020.
No, it does not.
But I could see him now with a green card getting an extension, but so we'll take that away though. Vasquez is domestic, correct?
He's domestic. Yeah, he's
an American.
Yeah, I mean, but we've got to get
it's
guys
not a
that
lot.
can contribute.
If you're going down the list, the guys that you think might stay another year. I mean, Garza's probably gone. I think Hagelin's deal was also 2 years, but I could be wrong.
Hagelin will probably. I would pray Hagelin
for his price point. I think he.
Yeah, stays. There are MLS clubs like Patrick Mullins is not that good of a player, and he's starting tonight for Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get a couple Patrick Mullins on your team, that actually dramatically helps you in Major League Soccer. Because I know we feel like the gap is massive right now between FC Cincinnati and the rest, but it's not as big as you thought. If we actually get pieces of the puzzle that match, especially on the international side, because right now our international pieces like De Jong, Kubo, Lacadia, Medina, none of those puzzle pieces fit. So I think if FC Cincinnati can clear out some of those guys and get guys that actually work together, I think that will be more key to your turnaround. Gerard Nijkamp, unfortunately, I believe his recruitment strategy for the last 18 months has been just get talent and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think we've seen that that's failed, and he's got to be able to do better and get better pieces in.
Yeah,
so I think there's money there, but we don't have the allocation money to go out and get like an Iko Para that's going to count as a domestic center back and be a day one starter, or a Walker Zimmerman day one starter in the heart of your defense. So that's where my worry is a lot of our international pieces we brought in are old.
Yeah, I mean our 4 center backs, 3 of them are international: Pedersen, Van der Vaart, and Waston, and they're all 30 or older.
Right.
So.
How many
has a green card, though, correct?
Roston has a green card.
Oh, okay. My mistake. Thank you.
How many? Did you just ask Knicks? How many signings do you think they have to nail to be firmly in the playoffs next year? I would not expect FC Cincinnati to be in the playoffs next year.
Especially firmly. Firmly implies they're making it, with games to spare. That's
I think FC Cincinnati is going to have to bring in I think they will bring in 8 players.
Also to say, this season, I think we were so close for a while because of the extended playoff picture. Mm-hmm. There was going to be 10 teams in the Eastern Conference who were going to make it. I mean, there's play-ins.
There's going to be 7 or 8 typically, or 6 typically?
Yeah, I think it's 7. So I do not anticipate. I think I anticipated going back down to 7 next season. So it won't be just another couple points here and there to get the 10th like it would be this season. Where it's going to be we need a decent increase in performances.
And when I say 7, I'm not talking like 7 starters, 7 or 8 starters. I think it's going to be players like we bring in, we're going to probably bring in 2 or 3 in the reentry draft, and maybe through the expansion draft, because I think Austin's coming in. But you're going to get guys. I think you're going to get different pieces that'll replace Abdul Salam and Meduyanin, and then maybe we'll go out and trade for a player or 2 that would be at the hopefully Garza level, but more effective, a couple $100,000 in allocation money, and you do something there. Now it looks like we're going to have a couple halftime subs. I gotta let you host. I'll let you play, but
can I also say on that point, I think offensively and in the midfield, the team is not far away when you just look at talent. The talent hasn't come good, right?
Okay.
But if you look at Kubo and Locadia, nobody's really questioning their talent, right? They just haven't done a lot. Barrial now. On top of that, you have Zhao. If Zhao's a depth piece, he's a good depth piece. And then in the midfield, I think Amaya's done really well. The team, if Makocho ends up being what we believe he's going to be, which hopefully this next 45 minutes will show us, then you're talking about maybe 1 creative midfielder, and then the defense is the problem, right? So you get 3 signings on defense and a midfielder, and you will have the starting 11, I think, to compete to be in the playoffs. The problem is you need depth in this league. It can't just be the starters. You need guys to stay healthy, and you need players that are here that aren't performing to perform well.
Briefly to interrupt, it looks like Sim De Jong has come on for Brandon Vasquez, which I think is a terrible substitution, and Makocho has also come on
I don't agree with you, but go ahead.
I just think I don't know what De Jong, I don't know what, and coach, you could maybe speak to this. I think you lose a lot from Vasquez being out, that I don't know what De Jong brings that justifies it.
Well, if bringing De Jong allows you to put Kubo into the attack, I can understand that to a certain extent. So it looks like Zhao is maybe playing through the middle. Kubo has moved out to a wing, and De Jong has dropped in as the number 10. And
did Makocho come on for Barrial?
No, Makocho came on for Amaya, I believe.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see. I saw this graphic.
Barrial's still on.
Okay, I saw the graphic for Makocho. I did not see the graphic for.
And I'm
really
wondering if Kubo is going to be forward.
Yeah, he's a winger. No,
I think
he's going to be the forward.
Right now, he's playing on the left wing.
He's not playing.
I think Kubo is going to play the forward.
He's just not there now, is what our point is.
Right. I'm telling you, I think it's going to be Kubo up top.
If it's DeYoung as like a false 9 center forward, I am not.
You're not going to put Kubo on the wing if you've got Barrial and Zhao.
I would not be surprised if that's what Stam did.
Especially with Omar and as a center back there. The center backs for Toronto are not quick. I think if Stam is looking to try to hit him through a bit on the break, maybe.
Maybe Zhao's forward? I'm trying to figure it out right now.
I don't.
Look like Kubo. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Vasquez is hurt or whatnot. Maybe if people can see Vasquez, if it looks like a injury or whatnot. But I don't mind seeing a front three of Kubo, Zhao, and Barrial. I would actually love to see that.
That's for sure what we're seeing. I don't know who's where for sure.
Barrial also looks like he's far right wing. I think Kubo is still in midfield.
No.
Hey, getting back to you, Tim, real quick. Sorry, before we move on to the second.
No, please. I just needed to.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Ken Hecker does a great job with the roster budget. Head on over to CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/roster, and we've got how it all breaks out. So you can look. We just uploaded like our Google Doc, and we update it all the time. But you can see how the puzzle pieces fit. You could even, if you want, I think you can probably copy and paste and put it in your own little thing and play with the numbers. But I encourage you to go over there, CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com/roster.
I love seeing Greg Vanney with his mask around his chin next to a sign that says "Decrease the risk. Wear your mask." That's excellent viewing.
All right.
Got my.
I know they're tested, but you can test positive. You can test negative before you test positive. Just wear your mask.
Clifford, you said Vasquez or Mokocha for Amaya is probably saving legs. I'm not even sure I believe that. I think it's just Amaya's been so sloppy with the ball.
Yeah,
Amaya was not good in that first half.
Coach, since you are our Yop Stam lookalike, for a coach who does not frequently, at least in our experience, and I think in the past he's been the same, has not usually done halftime substitutions. What does that tell a team when you bring on 2 of your potentially 5 subs on at halftime?
I think it can do several things. I mean, obviously not knowing what was said or exactly why the subs were made, it could make the statement that, look, no one is untouchable. And if you're not doing good enough, you're the only forward we have on the team healthy right now. It doesn't matter. You're the young number 1 draft pick midfielder who's played excellent all season. Doesn't matter. If you're not playing well now, you're going to get the hook. It could tell you, I still believe that we can win this match. Like, I'm going for it. We're going to make these changes and we're going to go out. And this is our game plan going forward to get one back quick and then maybe get the winner down the stretch.
I have a feeling that it's Zhao up top.
He looks like he's floating around. I've seen him far left. I've seen him far right. I'm not sure. He might have a very free role.
Ooh. Absolutely could be where Zhao is playing more as the center forward, but he's been told that he can make those runs into the wide channels. And then when that happens, ask Barrial or Kubo to fold into the middle when that happens.
It could even be a 4-4-2.
No.
Or a 4-2-4 with Kubo and Barrial really wide. I don't know.
Nope.
Oh,
wrong.
I'm just based on what
Clay. Let's leave the analysis to coach.
I'm just trying to observe where players are standing, man. Trying to guess.
I'm just giving you shit.
I know.
We give you shit because we like you.
No, I had a good friend in college. She told me my freshman year, I felt a little insecure because I think I got a good roasting in one of the common room areas. My friend goes, Clay, if we didn't like you, we wouldn't make fun of you to your face. And I was like, you know what? That's a very good point. So for anyone out there who thinks their friends are being mean to them, no, if they didn't like you, they definitely would have said it behind your back by now. It's very true. It's a very good point. That's a lesson I've taken with me ever since.
I think Zhao out of the wing in a position where he's not asked to pass or cross the ball is a win. Let him just run. I mean, that's what he's good at. I mean, he's a smart player too. He knows when to make the runs, what kind of runs to make, when to take somebody on 1v1, when to pass it off. He does a good job of those things. His end product is just so lacking.
Yeah, if you're just telling him to run at defenders and try to break through the lines, I mean, that might be where he
And
thrives.
If you get through the lines on the ball, don't try to shoot. Just toe poke. Just massive toe poke towards the goal and hope it goes in between the frame.
What I try to tell Musa Sissoko every time. Just don't shoot it, Moose. Just
toe bash.
Just put your toe on it.
Do we? What the?
That's a bad corner. Just a bad corner. Yep. Another first hit defender. I'm watching Christian Eriksen out here. Come on.
You know, I just think it's amazing how many players with Spurs just absolute trash year one. Sissoko, Son, some of those guys. Like, I mean, Lo Celso was kind of like half the year. We're kind of seeing now. We're seeing like Ndembele.
Tanguy and Ndombele had a bad first year.
Yeah, like now they're like coming around.
The transition to any, I think, the different country, different league is
especially when it's like different languages too.
Yeah, I thank God for Tanguy. He had Serge Aurier and Musa Sissoko to be his friends, but Sonny didn't have anybody. Anyway, I like now that I can just compare FC Cincinnati players to Spurs players and not get yelled at.
Well,
I think putting Joe Zhao here in the forward role and letting him you've already seen him get in the ball in the wide spots a few times, allowing him to run around and pull some of those center backs. I think that's a direct tactic. I think, Stom is doing this intentionally to try to get those Toronto center backs to move laterally.
The last 5 minutes, what absolutely kills me this year, it's like, we're looking pretty good. Like, make a couple chances, it's like,
we're very dominant on the ball right now, but it's going to end with a crazy goal in the against the run of play that's just going to put us down to nothing.
It's like, look at when you put Kubo on the wing, like shit happens. Oh, come on!
But that little play we just saw before, where Kubo got into the box and then smacked the ball right off the defender. It's like that's the kind of thing that happens too often. When you get in there, if the pass is not there, then don't make it. Try to take the player 1v1, spin out and try to find somebody at the top of the box. Don't just hit the ball into the defender and hope it bounces somewhere.
I'll say the one thing that I think irks me the most about Kubo, because you can tell
that the quality.
The quality is definitely there. It's his decisiveness is very poor. I don't think he makes the right decision 99 times out of 100.
I don't think that's him. I mean, it is him, but I think he's trying to do too much because the team has scored and he's not trusting his teammates and those sorts of things. I don't think that he is someone who is not able to make the correct decision on the ball.
Clay and I hit the button at the same time.
Yeah. Jeff Tebbets would recognize how frequently Harris Medunjanin hits the first defender, like our favorite Danishman. Well, now maybe our second favorite. We have Højbjerg.
Wait, what? Danishman?
Is that what a Dane? Wow.
Who's a Dane?
Christian Eriksen.
Oh, okay. Wait. Oh,
I studied Hamlet. I should know they're called Danes, not Danishmen.
No. You're fine. How do we talk about Christian Eriksen right now? Did you mention it?
Harris Medunjanin's corners often hit the first defender, like Christian Eriksen. That's what I was referencing.
Got it.
There you go.
I'm sorry. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, it's okay.
I don't like that you think Christian Eriksen is one of your favorite Danes when he forced his way out of Tottenham because he was.
Look, I said now that we have Højbjerg, I think that title has passed.
I still loved Christian Eriksen. He was just filthy.
I mean, back in 2018, it was him and De Bruyne as the best midfielders in the world, and then now Conte won't even play him in Inter. So,
yeah.
Oh,
less Spurs. Nick, sorry, bud.
Are you talking to us, or are you talking?
I'm not sorry
because they are.
We promised to stop talking about the
We're
San Antonio
three Spurs fans, so sorry.
We won't talk about San Antonio anymore. You're right. This is a soccer podcast. This is not basketball. You're absolutely right.
The clown joke was better, Clay. Stom looking to make another change. He must be really unhappy, or maybe
I don't think he's ever used 3 subs before the 60th minute.
Not that I remember.
I mean, I'm sure you could probably look that up at somewhere and prove
I'm wrong.
This
will be his fourth because, I mean, the first one was forced by
injury,
but
for Gutman, you're right. So that would be his second sub opportunity and his fourth sub.
Yeah.
Wow.
If he makes a sub, I just heard one of the announcers say it. Who knows?
I don't know.
Okay. Why do we gotta look? Y'all coming for me today? I don't appreciate it.
It's okay, Clay.
We're all Spurs fans. Don't single me out. I'm the host, darn it. I can make references to players if I want.
And he's gone.
Host.
He forgot I set up the show. He forgot.
I can easily add myself back.
That's called.
I'm also logged in. See, I can remove you just as easily. Whoa, look at that.
Host and name only.
I am the replacement host. This is true. I should be more careful. The more Spurs references I make, the less likely it is Subs ever lets me back on the show again.
Oh, you're fine. All right, he knows Spanish. I don't know any.
I would have to put that into Google Translate. But thank you, Martin, for watching and for commenting. I'm going to hope it's a positive message.
Hold on. I got Donde is where. Puedo is where I live, I think, or where I play.
Is Partido party?
Is the game. No, the match of the game.
Where do I watch the match? Then is that probably what it's saying?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, if you're in the United States and in the greater Cincinnati area, which supposedly is anywhere from Toledo to the Kentucky-Tennessee border, you can watch it on fccincinnati.com/stream. If you are outside that viewing area, you can watch it on ESPN+. If you do not have a membership, they do have free trials.
We should make a T-shirt for you, Clay.
We did that again.
Stop it. Leave it alone. I'm the host.
I'm the host.
We need a
replacement
yes,
host.
Jeffrey. Yes.
I agree, Jeff.
I could. Hey, Jeff, when you open up a restaurant, man, I see all the stuff that you cook, like the Japanese food and all that stuff. It looks amazing. When am I going to be able to come over and eat some food?
When this pandemic is over?
Why is Barry Al playing inline to endline? Because he's a beast.
He has a lot of pace. It helps, I guess. It definitely looks like Zhao is ahead of DeYoung. DeYoung's playing kind of a traditionally kind of 10 looking position. I don't know if he's done anything so far, but he just lost the ball. So
I just did that. Ayo Akinola, who's coming onto the field, and just his body change in the last 18 months amazes me. Like you could see, like I used to watch him in the youth national team, and he was just stick and just.
Well, how old is he now? Is he 19, 20?
Something like that.
Yeah, I was about to say, you hit that age, you're able to start doing a lot more weight training. It really, I saw, my sister was a collegiate swimmer, and seeing the freshman boys once they hit like their sophomore, junior year, and they get those giant like Michael Phelps shoulders. And you're like, oh snap! Yeah, yeah.
What's the place next to Ryan House where you get the turtles and all that stuff? What's that?
Gomez.
Gomez. Yes. Jeff, you need to make your own like Gomez, but like Japanese food.
Oh.
All right, I have a translation here. Where can I see the game of peeling sleeves?
Well, I don't think a literal translation is going to help us in that sense.
K-Tal? Isn't K-Tal what?
No, K-Tal is like what's up.
K is just what? What's up?
K.
Like,
I know. Donde está el baño?
Donde está la biblioteca?
Well, yeah, that.
Where's the library?
Yeah.
We at LaSalle, we had to take 2 years of Spanish, and everything was like something el golf. It's like, where can I play golf?
Brad, Jeff, we either need you to do like a ramen truck or a poke truck.
Sure.
Whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want, Jeff.
We'll be happy to support your startup.
What you need is that Coach Goff money to start up.
I have extensive serving experience if you need a waiter for an in-person restaurant. So, hit me up.
Hey, did I hear the Apple Store's closing or something?
I don't know. I'm working from home.
Oh.
So
I saw you said some stores closing, so you don't have to hear some music anymore. I was like,
I said
store closing.
No. That was when the store originally closed back in March.
Okay, gotcha.
I was very happy because I didn't have to hear, "Oh baby," that song over and over and over and over and over and over. Why don't you just meet me in the stupid middle? It's a very catchy song. Good for whoever. I can't remember who made it. Good for you for making a very catchy pop song. But I despise it.
Just meet me in the middle.
Yeah, if I go to hell, that's going to be the song that I hear on repeat.
Voice of an angel.
I mean, she's an amazing performer. I just hate the song.
I can sing not like I can't sing it, but I know the words to a ton of songs. But if you had to ask me who sung what, I could not tell you. Like, I'm the worst.
This is what we need to tell Mr. We need to get Jeff Birdie on the phone. Get that shop in the West End Stadium.
Tim, it's una cerveza, por favor.
Kiro.
That's what.
Go keep your day job.
Hey, so listen.
Worst years I've heard you sing, bro. You should turn pro. That's what you need to do.
We need to get Pedersen.
I've seen from the pulpit
on the mic. He can sing. Get him to sing some ABBA.
I think seeing Gutman on the field, he adds so much over either Garza or Duplan. I think that it just, and we already know this, right? But it just illustrates the gulf and divide of having to start a guy like Duplan at left back.
I'm putting this up there, Jeff. I don't have any idea what it says, but there you go.
I see him do these egg things, and they look so good. I don't know if you follow Jeff on Instagram or
if you like
Facebook or any of that stuff.
If you like soccer and amazing pictures of food, you should definitely follow Jeff on
Andy's a Spurs
Twitter.
fan.
He is. Another great reason to follow him.
Yes. All right. Alvaro Barrial, what number would we give him for the night, Coach?
He just hasn't had a lot of opportunity to be on the ball, which is not necessarily his fault. I haven't seen him doing anything where he's taking himself out of open positions or anything. So it's tough to really get a feel. I mean, he's been decent on the ball when he's been on it. He hasn't given the ball away, those sorts of things. But I mean, you couldn't go better than a B- just because he hasn't had the chance to do anything.
I think I would go 5.5.
Barrial off for Cruz.
I think I'm going to go 5.5 for Barrial.
Yeah, nothing entirely incredibly impressive, but
I think if
definitely
it was
not poor by any means.
If this was his 10th match, it would probably be lower. It's not like he did anything horribly, but he didn't do anything. But if I just blitz him off the first match, I'm gonna get killed on Twitter. I try to avoid that.
Oh, see, I just embrace the villainy. Just give Locadia a 4 for missing shots. Do it.
Yeah, and then people go, well, I scored ahead of him at 7.9. I'm like, we just lost by 4. There's no freaking way. That's a bullshit.
I remember
bullshit.
I remember seeing it was the I think I did the
no.
Oh, I think it was the Philadelphia match. I did the ratings for, even though Duplan was responsible for he was responsible for both goals or something. I can't remember directly, but he had a really terrible defensive play that led to a goal. And Foot Mob, who I check sometimes, had him at a 7.8. I'm like, no. No, yeah, sure. He made a lot of passes. I'm not giving him a 7.
Who was I talking to? I forget, it was on Twitter this week, but it was we've got FC Cincinnati 6, and then we've got the rest of the league 6. It's just breathe and not turn the ball over, and you get a 6 for FC Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's the bar's kind of low as these ratings keep going on. But I do agree. I think, attacking wingers in particular, if they're not getting their service, they're not getting the ball in good positions, it's kind of hard to judge them too harshly.
I don't really look at FOTMOB ratings, Yursky. That's even worse.
I don't abide by them, but I use them as it's an easy way for me to look at pass completions.
All it does, it counts it. What's your pass completion you get? So
I don't, like I said, I don't use it for the ratings. I use it for the stats.
You have so many clearances, you get X amount of points, but they don't count heading the ball directly to the top of the box. Alejandro Bedoya can kick in the goal.
Jeff, you did not have to
Cincy chili ramen. Really? Is it good?
That sounds. I think it'd be amazing.
I mean, I'd probably give it a try.
Jeff,
just like a 3-way.
Let's get that. But it's it's got a little bit of an Asian flavor to it. I'm with it. Let's go.
Do you follow like the French cooking guy on Facebook? He's been in like this whole thing of creating his own ramen the last week and a half. He's got like 3 or 4 videos. It's pretty good.
Okay, trying to steer us back a little bit. We're now about 2/3 into this match, a little over now. Coach, we gave up a goal in the first half. How have we responded? How are we looking?
I think that the second half has been positive for the most part. I think we've seen a little bit more impetus to try to push forward and get on the end of things. I think that the things that I'm looking at now is, how does De Jong play? We haven't really seen him impress yet. I haven't seen anything that's made me think that him coming on is changing anything. How is Zhao going to look up top? Those sorts of things. I guess Cruz is playing a wing now, which is interesting.
That's an Alan Koch move right there. Playing Cruz wide. I mean, what about Makocho?
Makocho's been fine, but I look at him and he seems like a guy who still just needs to settle in a lot. He's hitting a lot of passes where they seem like great passes, but then they're not to anybody. Like he was expecting somebody to move. It doesn't look like he mishit the pass is what I'm trying to say, but it doesn't go to anyone.
Oh, Hagland.
I watched this game from my couch here, and it just makes it look so chubby. Except like I've lost a ton of weight, and like I'm feeling good about myself.
You gotta worry about what they gotta do the camera angles, how you're sitting, how you're leaning.
I just need to do this. So I got it on a card table. Nope, that's not gonna work. I was gonna be like, put the legs out, watch the game like this.
Jeff Tebbett's coming for French cuisine tonight.
Are you kidding? French cuisine? Oh, so good. I mean, have you ever gone to like a top quality French restaurant? I've been to a couple in my life. Couldn't tell you the names, but they were amazing. Favorite food?
I used to work I used to work at a restaurant.
Where out with the thing with the.
No, it was a Michelin star French chef in New York City. It was American food though. It wasn't.
French restaurant. You give me super, super fresh Japanese sushi and then pizza.
That's it. That's the perfect restaurant right there.
I'd live on it.
I love that.
Holy shit.
That our match has reached a point where we're just. You gotta.
Everybody who's watching live knows what I just saw.
Gotta keep that a little under the hood there, buddy.
We're not streaming or we're not recording, so it's not going to Facebook.
It is on Facebook.
Fries toast. I made Geta hash this morning, Jeff. You would have been proud of it. I cut up potatoes, seasoned it, fried them, fried Geta, put that on there, put a couple fried eggs on top, broke the eggs, melted all through it all, a little bit of Valentina. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Teton making me nervous with that.
Took a nasty deflection.
Yeah, those like Jordan Pickford hands right there.
Is Cincinnati going to score? Probably not.
Well, literally,
Las Vegas
the immediate reaction after
negative 550 or whatever it is.
Oh, that is tough. That is a tough score line there, or betting line, I guess I should say.
I mean, I think that the FC Cincinnati's looked better in the second half so far, which I know is not a super high bar. I think that the smart money would be no, they're not going to score. But I think that Toronto's back line has been vulnerable, and it would shock me. I'm not going to lie. It would shock me if they scored, but I still am hopeful, I suppose.
Coach, there's something I wanted to talk to you about specifically is that I feel like there's been a couple games. I mean, we didn't have the majority possession in the first half. I'd have to check about the second half, but it seems like we've been in charge of possession and kind of dominated the second half in some ways, just in the amount of times we've been
dominated. The wrong use of that word.
Sorry. Yeah. We have had more of the ball in the opposition half in the opposition box than Toronto has. I feel like we've seen that a couple times this season, but still whether or not if they're good chances or what have you, we're still not scoring. How do you how do you react to that when you see that so often and yet the goals still aren't coming?
I think that the biggest problem is the positions that FC Cincinnati are getting the ball in the final third are really compact. I always say if you take a freeze frame of where you have the ball and cut the field with a few lines and look at your numbers, where are you numbers up? And it seems like FC Cincinnati is always numbers down. They're always 3v4, 2v4, 2v3 in those smaller areas when you cut the field into pieces, right? And in order to open the field up, to get numbers up, you need to be able to not only get the ball into the final third, but then to start to move the ball quickly and, find that switch or find that ball wide, stretch that defense out, find that creative movement to pull a defender out of position. And that's where FC Cincinnati's lacking.
My wife heard me upstairs say the S word, and now I just got a text yelling at me that I need to watch myself and you represent yourself as a person. So my thought is that where's Kamahela Makocho and De Jong? Like non-existent.
Well, De Jong is where he's always been, in my opinion,
like
this season.
Joe, please God, hit something. It's basically it. Uh-oh, did TT get hurt just now? That ain't good. Crap.
Well, we got two goalkeepers on the we got two goalkeepers on the bench, so
shut your Spursing mouth. What did I do wrong to you, Jeff?
No, he's commenting on your language.
Did I cuss a lot just now?
Tonight you have.
I just said the S word.
You said BS a couple times too, like in order and like in a row.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that bourbon's starting to talk for you, I think. Oh, I saw him pull up now. Oh, that's not good. He immediately pulled up. I think is that a hamstring?
No, he's touching his knee like it.
I know I have that before. That's come down awkward.
Oof.
You just get a little twinge. The problem is he can't come out of the game for a little bit and come back in, so he's just got to sit down for about 3 minutes.
But wait, with Cruz coming in, we have one more sub, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's gonna be Richie.
Oh yeah, most likely.
I don't think he'll leave the game. We'll see.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I think it just you just land the wrong way for a second and you just get a little twinge.
Looks like just like a little hyperextension, just slightly.
To talk about De Jong and Makocho, I think that De Jong is a guy who we've seen completely disappear on the pitch almost every time he's out there. I think that he has trouble. He's the guy who doesn't want to move a lot and wants the ball to be put right to his foot in the position so he can turn and make a play or he can make a one-touch pass. He doesn't want to have to create any of his own space. And in a team like FC Cincinnati's, that's just not going to work. Makocho, we haven't seen a ton of in this match, but I still think he's a guy who needs to get his feet under him, right? He hadn't played football in so long. He hadn't been on the field, and now he's trying to get his fitness back. He's trying to learn a new team, trying to learn a new style. So I don't think we can expect him to come on and just look like he's going to look. We talked a little bit earlier about guys changing leagues and how difficult that is. And I think Makocho is a guy not only changing countries and changing leagues, but also hasn't played in a really long time. I think minutes we get out of Makocho, where he is on the pitch, not getting hurt, running around, I think bode well for next year. And I think that's about all we can expect out of Makocho for 2020.
Yeah.
I just wait till 2021 for us to score a goal.
Mid-season acquisitions usually are never expected to make an improvement right away. There's always a sort of grace period you need with them before they can truly make an impact. So I think Makocho and Barrial are definitely signings for the future.
Part of the problem is also like looking on the right side of the field and be like, what the hell is this guy Abdul Salam doing here? Like,
yeah, and part of the problem with those guys too is that they're coming into a team that's not playing well and that doesn't have a lot of depth. So it's like Barrial started tonight, his second match eligible to play, and he's starting because the team just doesn't have any depth. They need bodies.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Oh, Sod, what are you? Just got completely beat.
I think that Hagelin and Vanderwerf have been very good. I'm going to have to go back and look and see if I'd seen them make, any mistakes, but live, I think they've been excellent, which is, not something we can say of the center backs most of the time. So I think that's a positive.
I would argue the only center back that's consistently performed badly is Duplan.
I mean, I agree to a certain extent, but I think that a guy like Kendall Waston has performed really well at what he does well, but he still has some severe limitations.
No,
and you saw
New York in particular. You saw,
you saw that he stepped forward to win the ball, and he just got left in the dust. It's like if he can't win that ball on a 5-yard square, then he's not going to help you.
Oh, TT, the American Eagle, what a save! But yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, no, I think Waston clearly works better in that 3-back system. That's absolutely true. But I just think consistently throughout the year, the only center back I've been disappointed in has been Duplan. And granted, he's, I guess, technically a right back, but he often has played as a third center back. It seems a lot of which is weird to say because it's like, well, we give up so many goals or whatever, but it usually isn't off a mistake that a central defender has made.
I think when you get into the nitty gritty, not into just the general build up and things, when you get into the nitty gritty, you see the center backs picking up the wrong players, or Kendall Waston particularly loves to float in space when the ball is deep towards the goal line, instead of, what you're taught as a center back is get your butt turned towards goal and pick up a forward when the ball is on the goal line. Our center backs love to watch the ball, keep their shoulders and hips turned towards the ball, and just kind of try to take up space or stand in a passing lane, which is not what you want to do in that area of the field.
That's a good call. Thank you.
The butt to goal thing is a huge, it sounds silly, but it's a huge thing that you don't see.
It's a fundamental,
Cincinnati. Exactly. It's a fundamental, and you don't see FC Cincinnati center backs doing it hardly ever. They're always have their hips turned towards the goal, towards the ball.
Kubo saved that ball, but De Jong's not really helping.
Yeah, I think you've seen in this small sample size, you've seen some of Makocho's passing ability, just his one-touch passing, and just his a couple of his little passes that have gone 15 yards but had to go over top of a defender. You can tell he's a good passer of the ball. So I think, again, as he settles in more and more, I think you're going to start to see the real Makocho.
That last minute of passing was probably one of the best minutes of passing I've seen from FC Cincinnati this year. Now, it doesn't end up into anything, but
right. It wasn't.
That was actually kind of like the first time I've seen FC Cincinnati have any semblance of
possession.
No, systematic possession.
Right.
Like the players knew where they were going to be, and if they had a center forward, that might have helped. But
I'd say it's really tough when the people going up centrally are Zhao and De Jong.
Right. But that was kind of nice.
No, I agree. We definitely kept the ball. We didn't make any mistakes necessarily. I don't know if it was. It wasn't very creative, but it was also not poor.
Well, no, it wasn't fast, but it was like.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about. We move the ball right to left, and we're connecting passes, and it doesn't look like we're going to turn the ball over. Right.
Yes.
I think the issue here is you're watching and there's so much stagnation. The forwards, De Jong as a midfielder is sitting and just looking like what's going to happen next. Even guys like Joe Zhao, standing in the middle, he's not quite sure what to do. So unless somebody beats a player to split the lines, you got to get the ball into that gap in between the defense and the midfield some way. And if you don't, then you just end up playing around the periphery.
Another poor pass by Zhao. Oh no.
What's wrong?
Oh, just that. There's good cross. I mean, it was almost a good cross to a guy in position that was way low, but it was just a little too high for him. So he didn't get a good chance at it.
TT's coming out.
Oh, all right.
That's it.
That's another injury potentially that we have to worry about going forward.
Yeah, that's your subs though.
Yeah, no, well, yeah. I hope it's just a can't finish tonight thing and not a more serious issue. Oh, yeah, it definitely seems like he's got that. Yeah, Richie on.
FC Cincinnati does have a shot in the second half. Not sure if it was on goal or not.
I'm trying to remember.
A while.
No, it's definitely been a minute. I don't know. I don't know if I'm remembering this game or if I'm remembering Minnesota, if I'm remembering Philadelphia. It's they all blur together at some point.
Yeah, it looks like there was a shot from just to the right of the 6-yard box that was put. It went into the side netting, right?
Oh, Saad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saad Abdul Salam. Look at that. Come on. Nick Haglund is playing very forward. He's dropping back. But
down a goal. We got to get up there.
Yeah. No, I've been pretty happy with Haglund.
Man, De Jong with the face trap.
Yeah, right. That's why, like, 20 seconds ago, I was like this.
If only he could have got that on his chest. Man.
I've been happy with Van der Werf and Haglund in that partnership. Like I said before, I think it's been good. I think Gutman's been pretty good since he's come on.
It's been an improvement since Duplan went off.
I think Makocho, since he's come on, I've been pretty happy with. Just it's simple, but it's nice and fast. His passes, he's hitting them hard. He's hitting them to the correct area, not just to the person, but actually in front of the player, so the player has something to do with the ball. Kubo is doing exactly what, to me, he does every match. He looks good. You can tell his quality, but he tries to do too much, and he isn't able to really pull it off. He needs somebody to come over and combine with him. I think the only player on the pitch right now that I think at the moment is really just completely lacking is De Jong.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just not moving enough to get on the ball. You see him sitting in the gap between the defense and the midfield, but not trying to find a window to get the ball. So he ends up just standing around a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, Toronto's really not sending anybody forward.
No, they're happy. They're very happy with this result.
They know we ain't gonna score.
Coach, I want to say there's something, because clearly I think everyone would agree Kubo's got that talent. He's got that potential. Do you think it's just we haven't put him in his best position maybe so far this season? What could explain he tends to just disappear from these matches sometimes?
I think that, again, he's just a guy that needs some players around him to help him out. He's not the kind of player who's going to completely create by himself. He needs to combine with somebody to get into the space to like run at one defender with one defender to beat. It's always like Kubo against 3 or 4 defenders, or it's Kubo like checking so far deep into the midfield to get the ball that, he's not going to be running at anybody. He's just looking to receive the ball and pass it. So I think that his best position is playing on the wing in a scenario where he can get the ball and get 1v1 a lot. And he's not getting 1v1 hardly ever right now, which is a team dynamic. It's just like he's not getting the ball in a position where other players are dangerous enough to where he's matched up 1v1.
I don't want to, this isn't to necessarily criticize Gutman, but I think I've seen a couple of plays where Kubo gives it to Gutman, makes that run down the sideline, and then Gutman just stands on the ball. And I think there's a couple of those plays that we've seen where Kubo is clearly trying to engage or create some 1-2, some one-on-one situation on the wings, and he's just not getting the balls when he wants them, it looks like.
Yeah, I think that slow speed of play is something that's plagued this team all year. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about. I think Kubo gives the ball and runs and needs that ball back 1 touch, maybe 2 touch. Once you've taken the 3rd touch, the opportunity is lost. And I think that's why you see this team run offside so frequently. Again, everybody's taking an extra half second to a full second on the ball before they make the pass. And I think that's a tempo issue. I think that these players can play fast, but when you settle into a rhythm of how the rest of your team is playing, you kind of assume that rhythm, and everybody's playing slow, so it just keeps going. Somebody on the field needs to be 2 or 3 players making the decision, like, we're going to start pinging this ball around and moving it fast, and let the rest of the team kind of build up to it.
I would honestly put in a limitation on the players on the 11. Just you can't one-touch passes only. You get the ball, you pass it. Just to see if it creates something. We just stand on the ball so often. It feels like, you're right. It just, the offense feels incredibly slow.
I mean, what you're talking about is a training exercise that coaches use a lot, where you limit an entire team, or at least a series of players that you think are playing too slow. You limit their touches for a training session. And it does make me wonder, like, I would love to sit in on some training sessions and see what kind of strategies is Stom using to try to fix these problems, or is so much of 2020 consumed with just recovering and trying to get ready to the next match. You know, we've heard the reports that they can't play 11v11 in training. You know, is it so much just trying to get to the next match that he doesn't even have a chance to think about, how am I going to get the team playing quicker?
And do we even have 22 players to play 11v11?
No, that's what I'm saying. They cannot train 11v11. They don't have 22 healthy players.
You're right. That's actually an excellent point. I think we watch these matches 2 or 3 times a week, and it's incredibly disheartening to see what, looks like it's going to end up being 1-0 again, another goalless loss for FC Cincinnati. But you're right. I mean, Stom doesn't seem to have had a lot of time to really train with these players. And
listen, I have coached teams, a lot of teams, where I've not had 22 players, and I have coached a few teams where I have. It makes a huge difference. Even if those 22 players aren't good enough to really challenge your starters, the second 11, being able to put your 11 starters in positions to play together, as opposed to having to play offense versus defense. How are you going to teach your right back to overlap with your right wing if they're playing offense versus defense, and all you have is midfield and forwards out there against a few midfielders in the back line? It just makes a really big difference to be able to train in that way, and having the time to train, which we know in 2020, a lot of the sessions have been recovery sessions, build-up sessions. So I think Stom getting in so late, and then on top of that, not having the time on the pitch with the players does make a difference. And yeah, you say everybody's dealing with that. Sure. But not everybody is a brand new coach. And even the coaches that are brand new, like in Nashville, those coaches have been in place since the beginning of the season. So at least they had a time to talk to their players over the COVID break. They had a few matches to go in and see what they had, and then come back during that break and figure out a game plan moving forward, those sorts of things. Tom hasn't had any of that.
I don't know. I mean, we got a couple weeks between MLS's back tournament and the regular season. What we've had, Stom has probably been at the head of the club for 15 games at least. I would say
close to it.
What?
I said close to it. If it's not 15, it's definitely close.
I mean, you at least have to have a little bit of semblance of how to attack after 15 games. At some point, he doesn't have any idea what the hell's going on. And really, his only tactical change was to throw so many guys behind the ball that it's going to be tough for MLS teams to break it down. But then once you figure out how to do that, he's got absolutely nothing, no ideas going forward. And that's what I'm worried about. I think this is more systemic than what we're seeing.
I think Stom's version of offense, he does not work passing patterns in the offensive third because he doesn't want his teams to have possession in the offensive third necessarily. He wants his teams to possess in the defensive or middle third and then score within 3 or 4 passes heading into the offensive third. It is a little bit of agreement with you, Brad, in that I don't think he has a lot of ideas up there because it's not necessarily how he's ever coached his teams to play. Now, is that a bad thing? Or is that something that you get a few more players and you're able to play more on the break like he wants? And I say break, not necessarily coming from defense, breaking to offense, but like I said, his teams possess the ball for a bit and then break forward almost like it's a counterattack. And I honestly believe that's the way Stam has had. It's how he coached at Reading, and it's how he coached. Where was he at?
Feyenoord?
At Feyenoord. Both of those teams played that way.
I mean, you do make a point though, Brad, that even when we were getting results in Orlando and the draws afterwards, the goals we scored in Orlando were not, it wasn't like because of a cohesive attacking game plan. It was a Frankie with a wonder goal. It was Kubo with another, good opportunity off a turnover that he just was decisive, that he decisively hit. There was the Harris Medunian own goal. There was the penalty from Locadia. It wasn't, we were getting good results. We were managing it, but you're right. The tactic was really put enough guys behind the ball, don't give up goals, and maybe we'll get lucky going forward. And we got lucky and it worked, and it happens in a tournament like that all the time. But when you have this consistent schedule like we had, it's a very different ball game. And I think we could tell pretty early coming into the third part of the season that teams had figured out the 5-man back pretty quickly. So, but coach is also right. It's almost by design. It's just we haven't had the right players fit or what have you at the right moments. So,
I'm the first one to say I think that working patterns of play as a coach is so important. If you want your players to play without having to think, the way to do it is to get that rote memorization where they're doing the same thing over and over and over, and they expect their team to be there. And I don't think Stam coaches that way, which I think, especially with a team like FC Cincinnati that doesn't have the players that are going to just create on their own going forward, I think that that's a mistake. So I'm not giving Stam a pass here and saying that he's doing a perfect job and he just hasn't had the time. I'm just simply saying that I don't think that what we've seen out of Stam and his team is an indication that he cannot coach in this league at all. It's just an indication that he can't coach this team in this way.
Yeah, another poor cross. All right.
Oh, don't get tired, man. You were doing the player ratings tonight.
Me? Yeah, that is not agreed upon. That is not agreed upon at all.
I'll do it. I'll put
shit!
Coach Goff positivity stance on it. Kubo's getting a 7.
Oh, snap.
Stop.
Something happened.
Stop.
I'm not even reloading the comments. Just going to watch it unfold.
I don't care, Ashley.
Okay. Oh, is that Medunian? Oh, man. Oh.
Listen,
penalty.
Omar should have given up a penalty long ago just for that haircut. So I'm saying it.
Oh, so who takes this?
Watch it be Harris.
Captain.
Alan Cruz.
Yeah, I think he's made a couple penalties in my memory. All right, Brad, I need you to be very careful with how you react. I need you to be very careful.
Might be the beer talking, gents, but Greg Vanny's a good-looking dude.
So handsome. So handsome.
Oh, yeah. He's got a great...
He's always like the best-dressed MLS coach.
He's got the flannel.
Definitely.
Got the perfectly manicured beard.
He's got a lumberjack vibe.
He doesn't got the bald is beautiful going like me and Stam, but, give him a pass for that.
He's got a thick flow going on.
I'm not loading the comments. I'm not looking at Brad.
Don't look at the comments.
I said I wasn't.
Flip it to the banners page. Flip it to the brand page. Whatever you want to do.
I'm just going to go to the private chat where there's nothing in there.
Ahmed. Okay, so apparently they're calling a penalty here. It was called about 3 minutes left to go in stoppage time, and I think it's going to VAR, but most everything looks like it's going to be a penalty all day.
There's no way you could overturn it.
You can't, he tackled the guy in the box.
And he put both his hands on his back, whether he extended them or not.
It's all going to be like if you think that
Gonzalez is Yelling at the referee a lot.
Now the ref is jogging over to the VAR
monitor. Okay.
monitor. So they think that there might be enough of a doubt. To me, it looked like it was like an uncatchable pass. They took the player down.
Well, I mean, luckily in soccer, it doesn't matter if you could get to it or not. If you get taken down in the box, you get taken down in the box.
So
it doesn't matter if the ball is played there. If the ball could be down the other end of the pitch, if the goalkeeper ran and punched somebody in his own box, the penalty.
To me, it looks like it was a dive. To me, it looked like it was a dive.
Sometimes you gotta sell the foul. Coco Lamella, my good friend, knows better than most.
He gets two hands in the back, whether he extends it or not. I mean, I think live, you shouldn't call that. I don't think you should call it. But I think penalty, like once you've called it, I don't think there's any way you could overturn that.
He definitely took the hands and no. Well, thanks, Brad. Brad, I didn't need that. I didn't need this. I asked you no. Yeah, I think it's
I don't understand refereeing.
I think it was soft.
From what I'm seeing, he did put his hands on his back, but I didn't see a push.
I think that Cruz has already had his mind. He was going down. It wasn't really that close.
I agree. I am simply saying that based on how the rule is written and everything, I don't think it should have been called. I don't think it was a penalty. But once it's called, how do you overturn that on VAR? Is that clear and obvious when you see the guy come through, put both his hands on the guy's back?
Oh, jeez. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Almost happened. Nothing happened. There was almost an epic own goal that the likes of us have never seen.
Oh, good. I'm excited to see this now. I'll say, how much time do we lose in that VAR check? How much time do you think we have left in this game?
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Do you see that? Holy
it's coming up to me. Oh man, if only we had gotten that. That'd have been amazing. All right, it's time for y'all's your hero, the Olympico, to make another appearance. Because clearly he can do these on demand anytime he wants. It wasn't definitely a fluke by any means. So he can pull off another one, right?
I think Hagelin just punched himself.
Yeah, he's not happy. He had a good chance there. Yeah, he got open. Just couldn't. He didn't get any direction on it. Just the ball hit him in the head. He didn't hit it.
Carlos, they didn't miss a penalty. They had one called and then it got overturned on VAR. So they said no penalty after the review.
All right.
But the way this team likes to score, they probably would have missed anyway. So,
but to say we can't be too upset about a missed penalty. We didn't really create much.
Michael Vanderwerf looks like he's absolutely done with this situation. He looks like he's toast. Like the last several weeks, I feel like his body language has been trash. But like now, after everything's off, I just feel like he is absolutely done.
I mean, they haven't blown the whistle yet. He's just on the ground.
No, they blew it.
They blew it. I was like, okay, I mute the match, so it doesn't bother with this.
All right. Time for me to write the player ratings.
Well, then we'll make the outro short and sweet. Thank you
Frankie
for joining us.
Frankie Amaya's got to get a 3, Brad.
Ooh, tough customer, Coach Brad.
Right.
From love Coach on the Brad youngster.
Goff, tough love.
That the goal was his fault.
There's only so much how long effort can go.
Yeah, absolutely. So
it's kind of the same thing with him and Zhao. It's like effort. That's it. That's the thing we look at.
Yeah. So yeah, again, thank you to everyone for joining us. I know these games are getting harder and harder to watch, but we appreciate you joining us. You've made this much easier and much more enjoyable for us as fans as well. So on behalf of the better Weigel, Bradley Weigel, Coach Brad Goff, and myself, the replacement host, Clay Winstead, thank you again. And stay safe out there and have a good one, y'all.
Peace.